I'm Healy Macinerney. I am a teacher in the Lake Washington School District, and I've been teaching in here for about 3 years now. I took the Youth Mental Health First Aid training in spring 2021, which was kind of right in that COVID era, going into the transition of going back into school. The experience was fantastic. The instructors were very knowledgeable, and probably my favorite part of it was they provided us the space to practice with each other, the skills that they had taught us. And I think one of the main things that I found useful was asking the questions and providing the resources like you would in a real situation. So when I had a real situation, I was already prepared with what to do.
I was the only teacher on our staff who had just finished. It was the first round of it funded by the Lake Washington Schools Foundation. So it was the first chance we'd had, and I took it, and again was able to put that into play later that spring when we came back to in-person instruction. In fact, we had students whose families could not find an outside professional. They were on wait lists for 6 months, 8 months to even get to see an initial appointment with a therapist or psychologist. And it was sad. And kids came back changed. And a chunk of their lives was halted right in the middle in middle school where, the social animals they are, that social emotional development is so critical. And we're still seeing lasting impacts 3 years later now. And so it was really timely.
One thing that the training helped with is it's not your responsibility to support on your own. Like, you're just the ear for the student to feel like they have someone to talk to. You have a network. And even the training said, like, if you need support, reach out at any time and we'll provide you with the resources, help you get connected. So I knew I had a space to go to, and that made me feel safer with the student as well.
It made me more aware of the cues to look for and the signs where students were undergoing excessive stress or maybe in a bad place. But specifically, we had a student who did express thoughts of suicide, and peers luckily reported it. But it allowed us to implement the training that we learned through the course and handled it very appropriately, very confidentially, and gave support to the student, but also involved the other resources available to us as teachers both in the district and outside with professionals.
I had a student coming back from COVID that was really struggling with depression, had their head down a lot in class, really was struggling to make friends. And so I started to connect with him, gave him some resources provided by the training, and then just started checking in with him, asking, like, have you thought about suicide? And just getting that question out to him and hearing his answer allowed me to work with the family and the counselors in the school more to support him as he was really isolating himself. And I kind of became his support system where he was comfortable to go to because I was willing to have that conversation and connection with him.
Other teachers should take this because it's not just about those super critical situations. It's about the whole big picture, about being aware of and knowing to look for the warning signs where a student is having issues and the levels of intervention that are needed. And the course provided all of that, along with a lot of good ability to speak with other colleagues that were experiencing different situations or had experienced different situations. It also allowed us to role play out situations so we were prepared when the reality hit.
I feel super empowered as a teacher to support students more, and to have my own resources with my own life and friends to support them. I'm also grateful to the Lake Washington Schools Foundation for providing this training and the space to learn.
Overall, I'm just so thankful for the Lake Washington Schools Foundation that they provide funding to allow teachers of the district to take this course. It's really awesome for the donors is when they support Lake Washington Schools Foundation. Not only are they supporting the teachers' abilities to improve their profession, but you're potentially saving student lives. You're definitely helping teachers intervene appropriately and recognize the signs when students need help. And what more could we do for our kids?